Sosan ma'am's video lectures were available on YouTube, and I used to watch it while I was searching for the right optional. And somebody told me that you should refer to this particular coaching's classes. They are extremely comprehensive. And within the first 10 minutes of the lecture, I was convinced that I need to take these classes. And then I think within the next few days, I applied in this coaching for online classes. The experience has been very fruitful. Ma'am was really supportive throughout my preparation, and I used to telephonically communicate my doubts and ask various questions in the online mode. Also, there were some tests which came with my classes. I also wrote those tests, and ma'am gave very detailed feedbacks on those tests. That also became very handy while preparing for anthropology.
I have actually, every year when I used to write mains, I used to take up Sosan ma'am's test series, and the kind of questions that Sosan ma'am gives, I think that is one step more difficult than what the UPSC asks, and I think that provides that familiarizes the students to actually tackle the bouncer question which UPSC throws at you in the actual exam. So there were certain questions, for example, in this year also I saw Jane Goodall question or a question on archaeological anthropology. So these kinds of questions were actually, they were taught by ma'am in the previous test series as well. I think those kinds of things definitely helped me into tackling those kinds of very unusual questions that were asked in this year's exam.
Hi guys, welcome to Target IAS Sourcing classes. As there is lot of buzz whether civil services are still relevant today, let us know more about the prominence of the UPSC examination and also the founding principles of the Target IAS Sourcing Classes Institute from the founder and director of the institute, Mrs. Sosan. And also we have with us well-renowned CSAT faculty who has 20 years of teaching experience, that is Mr. Jay Rao, and also Mr. Sudeep, who has been teaching and mentoring civil services aspirants from the past 6 years. So welcome ma'am, sir. And hi ma'am. So the basic question which we all want to know, what motivated you to start this institute in the first place?
A good hello to all the viewers. Thank you so much, Harshini, for bringing very interesting questions. One is that the relevance of civil services still in the contemporary world, as the things have been changing. In the last 70 years or so after independence, we see that things have changed quite a bit. But what stayed on is civil services that always remained, and that would still remain for a long time to come because of the kind of diversity of functions civil services have been performing, despite the fact that private sector has been surging ahead. And on that note, I would also want to answer the other questions that you have asked, that is, what motivated us to start this particular institute of Target IAS. The institute we have started in 2006, but if I go into the background, having come from a bureaucratic family, my father was into Indian Forest Service, and several other people in the lineage coming from civil services. That was a major attraction towards civil services. And secondly speaking, Hyderabad right from the beginning has been the second most popular center for civil services. At the time when we had started the organization, quite a number of coachings were there in this particular center. But what I thought was that there has to be a very clear route that we will have to give to the students in terms of the quality, in terms of the content, and more than that, the commitment that we give to the cause of the students. That is, we always have this dictum that we live the dream of IAS of the students. So we own their dream. That's how the things are so closely going to them, and that's where it was, to take Hyderabad onto the UPSC map of India. That was a major, attraction on which I had actually started. Otherwise, I had this background of media after having worked in various organizations such as BBC and various newspapers that I had worked with, and having worked with various other advertising companies and things like that. But what attracted me finally was civil services, for the kind of, as you say, the change that this field can bring in the society, because they are the ones that are directly linked to the society, and that was a major thing that attracted us to start this particular place.
As many things have changed from the time you established the institute and till now, how did you incorporate all the changes in the society and the changing patterns of the UPSC in your approach towards training the students? Like, how did you incorporate them in your programs or courses you're offering?
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. Change has always been the in thing of UPSC. Whether that is a major or minor, things have always been changing from time to time. Occasionally, it was a big change. Say, for example, at one point of time, 2 optionals were there. That was brought down to 1. Or introduction of the very significant paper of CSAT, which our the head of the department of CSAT, Mr. Jairov, is going to talk on that particular thing. Or maybe perhaps introduction of negative marking at one point of time. These look to be major changes, but from time to time, on an annual basis, we see things changing. By the way, UPSC asking questions, the kind of content that it is seeking from the student, the kind of presentation that it is seeking from the students, the kind of understanding that the student should have. So all these things are small and bigger changes. We strongly believe that our faculty members have to be abreast with the changing patterns. If at all we do not change, we do not mend our ways, we will not be able to cater to the requirements of the students. And it is to that extent, we keep changing our material, we keep revising our lectures and renovating them, and from time to time we keep introducing new programs with a lot of stress on writing, with a lot of stress on mentoring, hand-holding of the students. So based on the requirements, and as you say that society is changing, we see that several people who are into jobs, corporate jobs, and we have students from overseas also who are working in various companies outside the country. They keep taking our programs, because at some point of time they would want to come back and serve the country. So we have specially designed programs for them, for the corporate people, for the people who are doing their self-study based preparation for UPSC, and classroom program, online program. So I think we have been going with the stream and quickly changing, otherwise we would become obsolete. That's not what we look for. I mean, we are state-of-the-art organization in terms of technology, in terms of content and methodology of dealing with the students.
That's important to be in the line. So what are the programs you're offering for the students who are just beginning, like the foundation course or mentorship? Can you a little bit elaborate on it? Like, what are the courses you're offering from the institute?
See, we call it foundation course because as you know, UPSC Civil Services attracts people from different backgrounds, different academic backgrounds, and hence their knowledge levels on the subject matter of UPSC is quite different from one another. So we will have to bring those students on par with one another, onto the same platform we have to bring. And occasionally we also see that some students, they might be coming from state boards, and some might be coming from CBSE, ICSE, different kinds of boards, and these days students from IB are also trying to come to UPSC. And when such kind of a variation is there, what is required is starting from the very basic foundation, making them to read the basic books of NCERT. So we schedule the kind of reading and testing program for NCERTs, and whoever the teachers that deal with different kinds of subjects. Today we have another subject expert with us who deals with polity and governance, Mr. Sudeep. So he will also talk about how from the basics we actually build the students. So somebody coming from, say, life sciences or engineering background, they might not have heard anything about the Constitution of India. And in such cases, we have to instill that kind of an interest in the student, sustain that interest in them, and instill the confidence of the student so that they can go to the exam with that bold attitude and be able to clear as early as possible. So the tailor-made programs we would be making, and making it a point that concept building is very much important in all the courses that we try to do here.
The GS Foundation course prelims 2023. So how is it different from the GS Foundation course you offered in 2022? Like, what is the difference you're making in this new course?
I put it in three different planes. One is the time that we allot to each of the segment. We from batch to batch, we try to analyze the variation that we will have to bring in, the amount of time that we will have to give to each of the component. That is one. Secondly, arranging the proper scheduling in terms of which subject has to follow which other subject. So that a proper building of the concept happens with the student. This is one. And the second thing is rigorous writing programs, whether it is the preliminary test writing or main test writing programs. I mean, though we had these earlier, we are trying to strengthen much more with more frequency of conducting the tests, etc. And we would have many more sessions with the officers in service, people who passed out of our institute. We have a good number of them, like 1500 odd officers that have passed out from our center. So they would keep visiting them in order to give tips to, after finishing one particular component, some officer comes and tries to give his practical experience. That helps them reflect better in papers like ethics. And even when some analytical questions are asked elsewhere in general studies, say for example economics, people study the theoretical part here, and people from the economics services, Indian Economic Service, when they are coming and interacting with the students here, they would understand the practical orientation. Say it could be police reform, somebody who is into police would come and address the people. So we try to give these kind of what we call savvy sessions with the officers in service. That would heavily help the students in getting that practical orientation towards the society. So these are the three major things. That one is the scheduling, second is the testing, third is the practical orientation being given to.
Okay, so as part of this GS Foundation course, sometimes students feel like listening the class again, or they want to revise it or something like that. So do you provide any options to the students, like to cater to their needs?
Yeah, there is something new that we have started with this particular batch of 2023 General Studies Foundation program. We of course have tablet mode program separately for the online students. But what we thought was that offline students should also have the benefit of revising the content from time to time. And hence what we are trying to do is, whoever students that are taking admission for the offline course of GS, we would be providing them with the tab-based course also, so that from time to time they can revise, and that is going to have an incredible impact on the kind of preparation they are going to have.
Revision is very important. So are there any optional courses you're offering, ma'am? Like apart from these GS courses, optional is also one of the major part of the UPSC examination. So are there any courses you're offering?
See, as a part of Target IAS, we have a sister concern, that is SOCIN classes. The particular brand we have started in order to give a special recognition, because students from across the world, from various universities, also come to take anthropology course from me. So people recognize by the name. So we thought for the easy search of the students, we have incorporated this separate entity called SOCIN classes, under which optional subjects are generally held. And anthropology is a major subject that we have been taking up. and for which from time to time we have different varieties of courses, because this has been a subject that was like a hot cake for the UPSC students, which had awarded good number of marks to students consistently, and huge number of ranks from year to year. Not much of an up and down in the number of ranks or the marks, etc. So that has always proved to be a dependable kind of an optional subject, and throughout the country students have been taking up this particular subject, and that's how. And apart from that, we also have a regional literature paper, that is Telugu literature. We now have that optional subject being taken up by Mr. Subramaniam. And we also are having political science and IR. Mr. Shubhra Ranjan deals with that particular paper.
There is a foundation course you are offering recently. So can you tell us the details about it, like when it is going to start and what are the parts and features of the foundation course, so that our students can register to it?
Immediate program we are going to start on 22nd of December 2021. The target of this particular course is to make the student clear the exam in 2023 preliminary exam, CSE, and for which we would be having this 9 months program with a properly laid out schedule, etc. And what the students also should know is every month we would be starting new batches. They would be notified to them through our website. And for this particular program, we would be providing faculty members from across the country, from different universities and different walks of life, people who have really done incredible work in their respective fields, respective subjects. So we would be trying to get the best of the faculty from across the country in Hyderabad for the offline, so that after the pandemic, when things are withered out and students once again are coming back to the offline programs, etc., we try to get the best of the teachers from across the country to realize their dream.
Okay, sir. So you have been with Target IAS since like many years. So how was your association with Target IAS has been till date? Like, what was your personal experience?
I've been associated with sourcing classes for the last 8 years, and my association with the institution is really wonderful, valuable and productive. Basically, if you take each institute, it has got its own environment and culture. Here the environment is highly encouraging and motivating. The most notable feature of this institution is that ma'am encourages the faculty to deliver the program as per the students' requirements and as per the faculty's discretion. So in that way, the faculty will be having the freedom to conduct the program as per its convenience and as per the students' aspirations. So that's really a wonderful thing of this institution. For example, if you take a CSAT program across Pan India, there are only a couple of institutes who are offering comprehensive CSAT program. If you take sourcing classes, we are offering this program for 100 hours. It's a 100-hour program, out of which 80 hours is catered to reasoning and aptitude, arithmetic. So not only that, we conduct classes. After that, we also conduct practice tests and even mock tests. Last time even we conducted test series. So in that way, as faculty will be having a lot of freedom and liberty to handle the program as per its requirement. So definitely here the programs what are being offered, so definitely the students will be benefited. So that is the reason, please note, my association with the institution is really wonderful.
Yeah, that's great to hear, sir. So as the trends of the CSAT has been changing in the UPSC examination from time to time, how do you think students should adapt while preparing, especially in the recent times due to pandemic and all? So what do you think students should be doing?
Yeah, this is really a good question that to be noted. Basically, if you take CSAT right from the beginning, there are some predictable areas where students, in case they focus on those areas, they will be able to handle the paper. It would be a really cakewalk. For example, in case we take reasoning, there are certain areas like puzzle test, non-verbal reasoning, which are the areas which are repetitive. But if you take for the last 4 years, it's not like that. N number of areas are there which are unpredictable. So students who thought that based on the previous papers, they can definitely get through this paper, that's really a misconception. But this time it's not like that. For the last 4 years, tremendous changes have been taking place in this. We can't expect like these are the areas on which they have to focus. So the paper has become so unpredictable and the complexity of the paper has been increased. So that is the reason students have to focus on this. They have to know what to study, what not to study, and how much they have to study. So definitely there should be some guidance to the students to exactly fit to get through this exam. Though it's a qualifying nature, it's not so easy in what way we expect based on the changes that have been taking place for the last 3 years.
That's the very important paper. Okay, so there are many coaching institutes on the line, offline, online, many, like too much of information bombarding. So why do you think aspirants should choose Target IAS? Like, you have been associated with the institute from a long time, so I think you would be able to throw light on this.
Based on my association with sourcing classes, what I observed is that what all we offer or commit to the students, that is delivered. And what we can deliver, only that has been committed. So this way, there is a transparency in delivering the program. So we never did something which we should not do that. Not only that, if you take the institute, it's always flexible, receptive, and adapt to the dynamics of civil service program. Even during pandemic program, pandemic season, if you take here pandemic times, we always did what all we have supposed to do. We have conducted the program foolproof without any hassles, and we're able to suffice the requirements of the students.
So are there any exclusive CSAT programs you're offering apart from GS Foundation course 2023, which we are going to do? Are there any separate CSAT exclusive courses you're?
Basically, in case we take CSAT program, not only the program what we are doing at present, like basically offering the course to the students, we are also planning to conduct test series. Last time we conducted test series which was really successful. This time we would like to go ahead with a number of tests being conducted. Not only that, we are planning to have weekly tests so that students will be knowing exactly how to attempt the paper. The most difficult part of CSAT is that students may not be knowing which question they have to leave, which question they have to answer it. So that is a main problem with respect to CSAT. So that is the reason, keeping in this mind, we wanted to conduct a comprehensive test series. It's of two variants basically. One is a topic-wise test, the other one is mock test. So in that way, we are going to help the students to clear this exam.
I'm sure that will help the students, sir. Thank you. So for the beginners, especially for the students who are starting their preparation right now, generally they prefer to do self-study than going for a coaching institute. And they also have this dilemma whether we should stick to self-study or approach the coaching institute for preparation. So you have trained many civil aspirants in your experience. So what do you suggest to those kind of students who are just beginning their preparation?
A wise person always learns from others' experiences. So the students may very well go for self-study, but sometimes if they do not realize the flaws in their preparation and they are not taking enough tests, or if they do not have the right guidance and mentorship, it may take them number of attempts to actually come onto the right course. So rather than that, if you have an institute mentorship program which can actually guide you towards the right path from the very beginning and help you evolve with a strategy, so that would help them in realizing their dream maybe in 1 or 2 attempts rather than taking a long course. So with the help of the institute and the faculty who are always available to guide them and mentor them and correct them whenever they are going wrong, whenever their strategy is not working, so we help them in coming onto the right course. So that way it is always better to take the help of faculty and mentors.
So as you have already said, mentorship and the guidance is the most important thing. So can you elaborate on what kind of mentorship programs are you offering to the students like in Target IAS Institute? Can you please elaborate on that?
In Target IAS, we have mentorship programs, 1-on-3 mentorship program and also 1-on-15 mentorship program. So the mentors are available to students in helping clearing their doubts, and also it's a customized plan depending upon the requirements of students. So in coming up with the right strategy, so that we customize this and tailor make it for the students to come up with their own strategy. And also in this examination, you would see that sometimes there are highs and lows in preparation. So students need to be motivated sometimes. And for this also mentors play a very vital role.
So the prominence of the polity and governance is well known, like it is one of the core subject in the UPSC examination, and you especially deal with that subject. So what do you think that like students should be focusing on while preparing, like especially related to the subject? How should their approach be?
So in polity and governance, of course, constitution is first taught. So, and the subject is not just confined to one general studies paper, but it pervades through the other general studies paper, and also helps you in essay, and also helps you in personality test, the interview. So the weightage of the, if you see polity and governance in general studies paper of your main examination, it's almost 2/3. And in preliminary examination, almost 20%, almost like you are seeing the questions coming in preliminary examination. So what we do here is that we try to teach them gather in-depth understanding of the concepts, and once they are thorough with the articles, we also try to give them related current affairs. So we follow an integrated approach to teaching both for preliminary as well as main examination. So until the personality test, so students their opinion formation also can be based on what are the constitutional values that we teach here in the classes.
GS Foundation Course 2023, as you said, it is prelims and mains oriented. So how is it different? Like how the mains approach is different than the prelims? Like is there any answer writing practice you will be making, like the students will be doing, or both are integrated? Like how are you going to offer this course to the students?
In the foundation course, we do start with an integrated approach, preparing them for the concepts both for preliminary and main examination point of view. But at the same time, there are few topics which are only there for main examination, especially in governance paper. So there we also try to hold answer writing workshops where the faculty itself would be involved in giving questions and also checking the scripts of the students, and again evaluating their answers and giving them the right feedback. So we'd be conducting a workshop during the governance classes itself. At the same time, for preliminary examination, regular tests would be conducted, the objective questions would be given, and at the same time faculty also helps them in coming up with a strategy how to eliminate your options, how to make these calculated guesses, and sometimes questions which have to be completely left, so that they do not make more mistakes and end up getting negative marks. So if they want to get very high marks above the cutoff, so it is important that they make as minimal mistakes as possible. So that is where we come into picture and help students even for preliminary examination.
That is important. So lastly, we'll wind up this session by asking one of the important questions, that is the many growing opportunities recently in many fields. So do you think civil services are still relevant today?
Civil services has been called as the steel frame of India by Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So he also mentioned that there should be always a ring of officers to see that the constitution is implemented. So if you see, the relevance has remained intact despite the last 2 to 3 decades of privatization, and also in the recent times you also see increasing number of lateral entries. The recent COVID-19 pandemic had proven how civil servants have been at the forefront of this fight, or India's fight against the pandemic, be it with respect to implementation of lockdowns or now reaching the vaccination targets. If you are doing well, then a lot of credit must go to civil servants. So many young aspirants are wanting to join civil services as a dream to serve the nation, because they are seeing how civil servants have been performing and delivering. We are also a welfare state with respect to implementation of welfare programs, schemes, and also now government is also encouraging innovation. So even as a facilitator and enabler of various programs by the youngsters, here also civil servants come into the picture in helping them, encouraging them, and enabling them achieve their dreams, even through startups or even in the private sector. So various state governments are coming forward to do this. At the same time, the Prime Minister's initiative Mission Karmayogi also is taken up to enhance the capacity building of civil servants so that they are becoming more efficient, accountable, and responsive to the needs of citizens. So with more capacity enhancement, I think civil servants will be able to deliver better and also adapt to the changing times. So I think it is very much relevant, and we only see more number of aspirants wanting to get into civil service.
I'm sure this might have strengthened the essence of the UPSC examination, and we'll wind up the session. Thank you, ma'am.